I just wanted to show you here how it looks like. Make sure you put a rag inside of those intake ports, and I'll do that shortly. What I wanted to show you guys is that I tried to remove this whole thing as a unit, and the throttle body, it's fighting with me because of this hose right here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, last time I did not remove it, so it is in there, very good. It actually goes all the way to the EGR, which hopefully I can show you in there. This guy right here is the EGR. Let me see if I can get a better light in there. This guy right here is the EGR. So you have an EGR line coming out of the unit itself, and it goes to the throttle body right here. So whichever you can take off, you can take it off out of here and pull it up, and basically that is it. This is quickly the mess that I was referring to. The wires, the solenoids for the valves, hoses. It is not the easiest thing to do. Take your time. Like I said also earlier, I'm going to show you how this looks like. I already found the crack. It is not a hose, but I'll show you the repair for all of it. And just in case something else applies to your situation, you can use this as a reference. I'm going to let this roll in here for a little bit so you guys can see. Line. Actually a coupler in there. You have this metal runner right here. It basically goes to the bottom of the elbow that leads to this throttle body. Like I said, remove that off. It's gonna fight with you. This right here I did not explain to you before, and my apologies. This basically goes to the brake booster right here. And for those that are doing this for the first time, and if you remove it and you hear like a big gas of air in there, that's okay. It's just air trapped in the system. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to either try to remove that hose from the EGR or remove the throttle body, which I really do not want to do because last time I did it, the gasket broke. So if that's the route you're pursuing, make sure you have a replacement gasket for your prospective application. Alright. So while I was doing the repair, or during the attempt, I noticed that everything here was very brittle. So in order to stop applying force to it, I took out the fasteners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 millimeters, and this whole thing came up as a single unit. And basically I applied some liquid tape in here. It's solid. I know it's not the preferred way, but this part right here, when I went to Mazda, it's $30, and it's 2 weeks away from ever getting here. So I order it anyways. I'm gonna keep it aside, and if for some reason I do have a problem with it, I know what the deal is. I bought plenty of hose. I bought these two guys right here, $30. The whole hose set, which is an 1/8 diameter, 1/8 inch of a diameter wide. Paid $20 for it. These two I do not remember, but what I will do for you is show you what I have here. The part that broke over there, the part number is 13-995. The hose that goes right after that, you can buy it at any local auto store or buy it at Mazda. And basically that is 35 millimeters. Attaches to this guy right here, which is the chamber, and the chamber parts are 20-339A and ×2. You have two of them. You have a vacuum line right after that, 60 millimeters. This guy right here wraps around, and basically it attaches to the two solenoids that I mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together here. One. These are made by Mitsubishi. They do have them at the local auto store. They're very expensive, by the way. Well, they still work. The clip on mine broke, so I'm still using it until it fails on me. And here we go. Here we go. And here we go. Alright. I wish whoever designed this engine was smart enough to actually put the same insulator that you have over here, and over here. I know they could have moved it over or attach it right here. Engineers at their best. But anyways, this insulator has kept this line right here fresh. It feels like it's brand new and it's never been replaced. So looking at the diagram, which I'll do now just to double check my work, you already see how it goes. It comes right here. Solenoid comes here, comes here, comes here, and it attaches to this guy right here. If you feel like you have to pull too much, rectify your work right here on this small clamps, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it over a little bit so I have more of the hose to play with and put it into that shutter valve right here. This is the shutter valve that I had worked on before, and basically I did about a month ago the liquid tape that I mentioned just not too long ago, and it works. It has worked. So just be careful, like I said, guys, be careful. So far everything is reverse of installation, and I'll go ahead and double check my work with this assembly sheet and put everything together, and hopefully I'll bring you guys along with me. Before I move on, perfect chance to look at your injectors. 1, 2, 3. They look pretty clean, however the small chamber is not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them out. Carburetor spray, clean them out. You don't want that junk in there, but basically that's just carbon that builds in when combustion is happening. So I'll address that. This is your time to do so. Do not forget to put the bolts back in if this is your situation. And again, this is for the EGR P0400 recirculation code that I received on this car when I put everything back together when I did the valve cover gasket. And before I move on, I just wanted to show you guys you do have an oxygen sensor right there. It is a tight fit, very tight, but this is your chance now that if you have to rebuild this engine or work with it, this is the time to do so. That is the infamous EGR valve right there. Connector, the EGR itself, take it out, clean the passages, put the hoses back. 2 hoses, one goes to the throttle body as discussed, and the other one, I believe, goes somewhere. I have to follow it, guys. Sorry about that. These are the connectors for these guys right here, the solenoid switches, and basically you just connect them and put everything back together. On the next video I will actually show you the torque specs for the plenum or the intake manifold, and everything should be pretty simple, and we'll see if after so many miles we do get that code back. I did disconnect the battery, so that code is long gone in history. So let me take you along, guys. Alright, looking here at the manual, just to give you a visual proof of the specs of this car. I'm getting this from the Mazda 626 MX 4 Pro Haynes repair manual. It's an okay manual. I prefer the Mazda one, but this actually just cuts it for what I need. And what we have here is a intake manifold, bolts and nuts. We have 14 to 18 feet foot-pounds. And basically you can use a digital torque wrench or a clicker style. So I'm going to set it up for 16 foot-pounds, and we're going to torque that down.